Hi, welcome to NDE TV. I'm Peggy Robinson. Today's guest is Kelly Matczak, and she has had a lot of interesting spiritual experiences that she has not shared publicly before. And so I'm really excited to give her this opportunity to talk about them and share it with you guys and explore it all. So, Kelly, you ready?
Yeah, thank you so much, Peggy. Gosh, I had a very, I don't want to say difficult, but like a lot of change last year. I was dating someone who I adored and they were phenomenal. They adored me. I love them. A lot of love. Um, at one point, we found out he needed heart surgery. I've had this fear with him that he just needs to take care of his health. He needs to take care of his health. I finally found my person and I just want him to be healthy. I want to keep him. I want to keep him. And then his doctor found that his heart was like 70% blocked and or 80 or something like that. And then that happened. So I'm like, "Oh my gosh, heart surgery." And then the same week that he was getting heart surgery, I was told that my role was going away. It wasn't working. They're reorganizing. I had the opportunity to do a recruiting role, which sat so wrong with me. I'm like, no, this isn't for me. I can do this. And I just bought my house, and yeah, it'd be nice to have the money. And my biggest fear was coming true. Like, I was scared that my partner or something was going to happen to him. There's a lot of fear, a lot of fear. And the work was just getting like ripped out from underneath me. And I loved my job. I loved the people I worked with. I know my goal here is like to help people. I wasn't sure how, but like in the role before that, I was helping business owners with their businesses, like marketing, technology, best practices, all kinds of like really technical stuff. I've always used I've learned as much as I can because I came from not having much self-esteem and just a tough childhood. Like when you had your experience, like you were talking about your experience, I'm like, oh, she gets it. She gets it. And I just tried to build my career up. Everything was my career, everything. And
I'm sorry, what was your career? What is your career?
when this was all happening, I used to be a senior tech success consultant. I would help people in insurance and finance run their businesses, run them better. And I loved connecting with the people. I loved it. And then after that, I was a director of strategic development. And then I was help building a planning team for software and helping our advisors. And then I just got assigned all these other things. And I'm like, what am I doing? And then I was supposed to be doing these other things, and there's these really tough goals that just weren't attainable. And I'm like, I'm doing everything I know that I'm supposed to do, and why do I feel like I'm failing every day? But I got up and I did what I'm like, I'm good at this. Like, what's going on? And then, everything was just tough. So my the same week my boyfriend had his heart fixed, I was so grateful. I was so confused because it like the week before they gave me a package for my 401k, like, you've been here a year, let's start this. And I'm like, and then this, I'm like, I felt so blindsided and like everything was pulled out from underneath me. And I was sad, I was hurt, I felt like a failure. I felt like everything I worked towards to help other people and help them grow was just falling apart. And I realized I had so much fear. And I don't think I realized that till the end of this year. So my whole identity was ripped away. I have tried so hard in my life to put myself in these professional situations because it felt safe for me. When I was a child, I struggled severely with anxiety. There was depression there too. I grew up in a really angry household. There was a lot of yelling, and my dad was just a really angry man who didn't love me. So I learned that like I don't want to be like that. I learned I want to help other people, and I knew that the only way I could get out of that situation was to climb out of it through education. And then there was these women that helped me along the way. I had this woman boss. She opened this door for me. I came in as a graphic designer, and she's like, "You can do my job. I wouldn't have hired you if you couldn't do it." I'm like, "Oh my God, someone believes in me." So like I've always used this climbing the ladder to feel like I was going to be safe, that I could do this for myself, and I knew I had to depend on myself. So when my job got ripped away from me, I'm like, who am I? Who am I? And my boyfriend was so loving and supportive. He brought out some champagne flutes. He's like, "Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. You know, I was never going to tell you, like, I saw all this going on and it wasn't working. I saw you working so hard and you didn't have the support, and you can do this on your own. You are meant to do something special. You are meant to work for yourself." And like, I tried it before, but I didn't have all the skills. And I tried it, and I still was just struggling so much with my identity. And I realized that I was connecting myself off from my spirit of who I was. I was walling myself off from everybody. The anxiety went through the roof. I didn't want to go out with friends because like they would go out drinking, and I'm like, I don't connect that well with people in those situations. I'm a little more soft spoken. I need a little more quiet. And I just started walling myself up because I didn't feel like I had anything to offer anybody. My self-esteem was in the toilet. I'm like, what am I good at? What do I do? How do I make money? And I just felt lost. And I saw my partner just support me and struggle, that he saw that I was hurting, but he couldn't do anything. So by the end of the year, in December, I felt this something's wrong, something's wrong. Like I always know it. My intuition is through the roof, through the roof. I've had this since a child and I've hit all this, and I'm like, finally I've started listening to the signs and like and understanding it more when I finally open myself up. I'm like, something feels wrong, something feels wrong. And I saw him one day before we went home for Christmas, and I'm like, "Oh my God, you're gonna break up with me." And he kind of had this like, I'm really busy at work. And I'm like, no, something feels wrong. We got home from Christmas. He broke up with me. And it was really hard. And I think this whole experience taught me about love, love and connection. Love. He broke up with me in such a loving manner. I love him so much, and he loves me. And he's like, I've got you. Like, I want you to feel better. I want you to succeed. And I think he realized there needed to be some kind of disconnect for the situation to thrive. And I got really angry. I got angry. I'm like, I have
Why did
been,
he break up with you?
I'm not sure of the whole picture yet, but I felt like he was going out and drinking too much. It started making me uncomfortable because I'm like, why does it have to be this much? This doesn't feel right. Like, I don't want to do this much. I like going out and I'm social, but something felt like too much for me. And he's like, I'm concerned. Like, you go out and then you dip. Like, I'll go out and then I'm like, I have my limit. And I just have this anxious thing. I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta go. It's just this boundary where I've had a little bit of social anxiety my whole life. And it comes from disconnect, I'm realizing, from who I am and from others. I just disconnect. And it's like a safety mechanism because when I was a kid, I had a mean dad. I would go hide in my room. When things were hard, I would hide in my room. I would disconnect and try to find myself, like, and who I was, and connect with music or write or do stuff like that. So when he broke up with me, and I'm like, I just was so numb. And then I got really angry. And I'm like, I want a partner. Like, you're supposed to be my partner. And like, I got and I just got so confused. And like, I love this person. He loves me. It was for no lack of love, and it was so confusing. And
Was
and
it
I
because you weren't the party girl?
in my mind, maybe, yeah. I told him like, I told him exactly. I'm not a party girl. I don't want a frat boy. I want a partner. And he was my partner. And I couldn't figure it out. It was so confusing, but all I knew is that I loved him deeply and he loved me. And there was something going like this towards the end. And I think it hurt him so much that he couldn't figure out how to help me. And I think I don't, he said he wants to work on some of his stuff too, but I don't know. But all I took from that is like, wow, this person loves me. Even though this hurts so bad and this is not the way I want it to go, he loves me and I love him, and it's going to be okay. And from that moment on, after I felt so loved, I knew I'm going to heal differently this time. And I told him like I'm big into like manifesting. You like, your words mean something, your thoughts mean something. When you
Right.
say them and you mean it, boom, it happens. And I'm like, I'm going to dig in so deep. You watch me. I'm going to fix this, cuz I'm a little bit of an overachiever because of, just being who I am. And I'm like, I'm gonna kick butt and work, and it's all gonna, like, I'm like, "Ooh, that was a little." I'm like, because I just wanted to like prove to him and myself, I'm like, I've got this, and like, but I knew, and I think he knew I wasn't gonna get to my spiritual side. I don't think he knew it was my spiritual side. I wouldn't get to my core of me without him walking away. It's something he couldn't fix. So I don't know. I have no idea. I love him. He loves me. I don't know. But after that, everything started to happen. After I knew it was with such love, something changed. I'm like, okay, I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to connect with myself again. I connected with a counselor. I connected with somebody who had a near-death experience. Like, as soon as I had this experience, I felt so much comfort. I could not get enough of the near-death experiences. I had like insatiable for them every day. And I'm like, there was so much peace. And it just like, oh, I get this. I get this. This is part of me. And um, I think Anita Morjani opened up something so big when she shared hers. I'm like, okay, it's supposed to be about having fun. You're supposed to be yourself. And why has it been so hard to be myself? It was so hard. And I listened to your story and I'm like, oh God, she knows what it's like to feel unloved as a child. And it hurts so bad. And you're like, why don't they love me? Why don't they love me? My dad couldn't.
You just
He,
try harder and harder
yeah,
because they will, right?
like, what's wrong with me? Why does he swear at me? Why does he call me a weirdo? Why is he so angry? Why do I feel like I have to walk on eggshells and hide all the time? Why does he hate me? And I don't know why. And I think he was just a really angry guy who didn't have the capacity. He struggled. I don't know,
It
but
sounds like you just went into this shell as a child, and then when you started to come out of that shell, like into the world and be you, this man didn't know you anymore. You weren't this shell of a person.
yeah. Yeah, I hid a lot because I was so tired of being told, don't be yourself. You're a weirdo. Stop telling me your weird dreams. Like, I would have beautiful, vivid dreams since I was like 6. I'd wake up, I'm like, wow. Like, I've always had that connection. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it, but like, the older I got, the more I started knowing things. Like, I started listening. And I think I knew things were going on, but I couldn't make sense of them. Like that connection was just so blurry. So I started, like, after this whole tough experience, I started listening to the near-death experiences. I'm like, I need to connect with these people. They get it, they understand. It felt so good to feel understood and this comfort and this peace. It was incredible. But your story hit me so hard because you're supposed to be out there helping someone. You don't know how you're going to get there. You have these thoughts and feelings that are from, they're not you. It's like speaking to you, and you don't know what to do with them. And like, I was in Italy with my boyfriend and his parents, and like these things, like after we went to lunch, we were walking up a hill, and he went to hold my hand, and I slapped him. I'm like, keep your hands free, keep your hand free. Someone's going to fall. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to like be so abrupt, but it just comes out. It comes out. And moments later, his father fell and cut his head open and just bled all over this gelato shop. And I'm like, okay, this is real. This is real. I don't know what to do with it, but it's real, but I need to let it come out. I've been pushing it down and allowing myself to push it down, and it hasn't helped me, but I've always had this. But the thing that popped in is like, your thoughts are so powerful. Your words are even more powerful. And when your thoughts and words are aligned, boom, it happens. So interestingly enough, after I connected with you, I'm like, oh, I just want to tell her, like, I appreciate her so much. Thank you. This like this hit me. And I think it was like a day or two before that. I'm like, I know I'm supposed to be on like podcasts or speaking to people. I don't know what about, but I know I'm supposed to be doing this. And like, how do I get that started? I don't want to go, hey, put me on your podcast. I don't know what I'm talking about. Because that's just kind of crazy. And then you invited me. I'm like, oh, okay, it's easy. I realized after listening to your experience and some other ones, It does not have to be that hard. After breakups before in the past, I struggled so bad. I felt so disconnected, so hurt. This time I realized when you let people love you, it doesn't have to hurt like that. I think I've walled myself up from my spirituality, from people, just because I felt so much from everybody. When you can like literally feel someone's physical pain, it's hard. Like I had experiences that I put in my second book that like I don't think my family even know about. Like it's weird. It's really weird. I would be in my office and I would get like this shooting pain in my right foot. I'm like, ow. I'm like, I didn't do anything to my foot. I usually had to realize it wasn't mine. And I'd say, I'm like, that I didn't hurt my foot. And my boss walked in. She wasn't supposed to be in the office. And she had this air cast on the right side, on her right foot. I'm like, oh, it's her. So I started walling myself off because I'm like, I can't, what is this? I don't know what's mine. I don't know what's going on. And I realized that things come through for me with people who trust me and I trust them and they're open. So I can feel people that are open to me. I had this one girl I worked with, and I went to the restroom, and I get this pain in my side. I'm like, oh, it's like a bladder infection. I'm like, I don't have a bladder infection. And then I go into my office, and she comes into my office. She's like, can you catch the phones? I have a bladder infection. I'm like, I know. She's like, of course you already knew. I'm like, change your oil, please. She's like, why do you know? I keep thinking about changing my oil. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. But these experiences, like this connection with people. We're so connected with each other. I don't think we realize how connected we are and how much our thoughts and our hearts really interact. And it's just like, oh, I got to get my stuff in order.
You something. Was there ever a time when you was a child that you were so scared that you left your body?
I'm not sure. I wanted to. I remember wanting to when I was little and trying to make it happen, which, like in first grade, I don't think that's something kids think about doing. I don't think I've never told anybody about that. I'm like, come on, because like I was raised Catholic and like all these things. I'm trying to make sense of this, and I'm like, why can't I do this? And I don't know, but I did know that I almost drowned. So that I'm like, I need to reach out to this lady. My mom told me like, yeah, you almost drowned once, and I'm like, oh, but I don't remember it. I remember her telling me about it. She's like, you were so hard, you were so always just out there, and I could never put my thumb on you. So there was I gave my mom a really hard time. I feel bad. Like she had a hard enough time with like the verbal abuse from my dad and raising six kids and running businesses, but I don't know. I just know as a child I felt very different and very sensitive to the point that they would they took me to the doctor because like I had stomach problems. My stomach hurt all the time because I was so anxious. And they took me to a psychologist. They lied to me and tricked me and said I was going to the dentist or something. And I got mad. I'm like, this isn't where you said we go. And I stormed out. I'm like, I hate you guys. Like, like so childhood was rough. Like I was overloaded in a household of anger and chaos, and it was hard. So when
What
I
all did
finally,
what all
Mhm.
did your mom say about the drowning? Did she go into any detail or
she she just said she found me. She just saw me going into the pool. I think she just had this intuition to look up out the window and get me. I don't know. I don't remember it, but she does. And my mom used to drown out her intuition and connection too. My mom and dad both had that. Um, my mom saw my aunt when she passed, and my great aunt, her aunt, and she came into her bedroom and said, "It's going to be okay. I'm okay." It was the night she passed, and I remember getting like a pain in my kidney. She had renal failure. I'm like, so we have that. We just didn't, when we were raised Catholic, we don't talk about it. It wasn't appropriate. I'm like, isn't this all the same stuff?
yeah, Catholic. My ex was Catholic, so we were and the kids were. It's so unspiritual.
Yeah, and I'm this this feels normal to me. Why is this bad? And even my dad, as angry and dysfunctional as he was, The night before I was born, he popped up and it's like I had a dream, like because I was not allowed to talk about my dreams because they were too weird. And he told my mom's like the baby's gonna come out wrong. Like it's like the baby's gonna come out feet first. This is before like technology is gonna tell you like you're gonna have a breech baby. Came out, feet first. That's me. But we all had it, but we were just stuffing it down in so much anger and mean spirited stuff, and it didn't feel good. So, like, as a child, you're like, well, I'm gonna try my best. I worked so hard to get out of it. I didn't have a college experience. I worked 2 or 3 jobs, got to college, graduated early, and just tried to work. I tried to work myself out of the bad experiences, and I tried to grow and succeed as much as I could. I stuffed myself into leadership roles and struggled and learned and grew, and I just know now that I'm not supposed to be in that office setting anymore. I'm like, I'm supposed to help people, but I'm going to help them in a really weird way that I can't explain to people, but they're going to help me. And the more I realized that it's okay to like be myself, the more people started opening up to me who had like Catholic backgrounds are like, "Oh my gosh, I had this experience about my grandfather. He came to me and I saw our friend who passed. Like it was so real." I'm like, "It is real. We're connected." It's like people we love, we could who we're connected with comes through. So, yeah, I don't know how any of this is going to unfold, but I keep listening to that little whisper. And I don't know if it was you who talked about the leaf blowing and
Yeah.
like fall. Yeah, so you're on to something there. It's like I went to yoga today and I usually kind of
Follow
have
God like a leaf follows the wind. Our
yes,
only job
yes.
is to trust.
Yeah, and it's like I always hear that stuff and I had a trouble differentiating like is this me or is this just anxiety, you know? And today I heard, don't go in the back. I know you like to be in the shade so you don't burn from the sun. Go over here. Just go over here. And then I found my friend that was we were a couple friends with my, ex-partner here. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, hi, how are you?" Because I forgot she went there and I it led me to her and she's like, "How are you?" And like, "I work right by you and I live by you and da, da, da." And I like, "Well, send me your link for your business." I'm like, "Oh, okay. That was easy." It's just these small little whispers.
So you
And
did start the business?
yeah, I did. So it's funny because like people like I have a really big skill set. You put me to something, I'll get it done and I'll get it done well because I care and I want to help people. It's not about me. It's about doing really good for somebody. And, you know, there's a lot of technology stuff I do. I do website. People keep coming to me for websites. That seems to be my bread and butter, just taking their vision and making it beautiful. I love when I have those clients who are like, I don't know what it's supposed to look like, but I know what it's supposed to feel like. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, like, what do you like? And they just let me create. It's really fun. So I've done a couple of those. I do coaching and consulting. I've written 2 books. I'm writing on a third because after I was listening to the NDEs, I'm like, it just poured out of me for 6 days straight. I did revisions to 2 of my books, and now a third one's coming. It's like when you're aligned, that word keeps coming up a lot too. Aligned, it just it gushes out. And then after yoga today, I came back and I left my garage door open. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, where's my mind? And like I live by myself and I was always afraid to live by myself because like I didn't feel safe. But this is a really safe neighborhood. And then I'm like, wow. I went in the house. I'm like, let's do that. Look under the bed, look in the closet. But I knew no one was there. And I'm like, you can be open and it's going to be okay. That's what I kept hearing. It was strange. And then,
What
um,
you was just hearing, remember that phrase in yourself. What was I just hearing? Pay
yeah,
attention.
yeah. Yeah, it's like the pay attention. I've gotten a lot of those too. And then when I just let go and after I got broken up with, like I had this let go, this song kept coming into my head every morning. I'm like, what? You ever see that movie Groundhog's Day with like
Yeah.
Bill Murray? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like what? And then I played it and I'm like, all the words were about me. And I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, you went through a breakup. You're feeling all these feels. And no, it punched me in the chest. Like, and it was like the song Shy Away by 21 Pilots. It says, don't you shy away. Manifest that ceiling when you shy away. It talked about cut that cycle in half, shed your skin and leave it on the floor. When I come back here, I don't want to see that same person, like basically. And I'm like, ooh. So, and then I got another song and it was Salisbury Hill. And I'm like, I don't like that song. And I'm like, what am, and then I'm like, oh. So I'm getting things in like songs, but
Yep.
it will keep come until I let it come.
I get them in movie clips too.
Really?
Yeah, I get in songs. First thing I wake up in the morning, not every day, but when I do, I'm like, okay, like you did, find out what is that movie, what is that song,
Yep.
there's a message there for me. But I get it in movie clips. And what's weird, and I don't get it, is like if I get a little movie clip, often that movie or that show, whatever it was, will be on later in that day. And I'm like, why did this keep running through my mind? It's like there's some kind of time slip or something.
Yeah. Yeah, there's all these synchronicity and I realize it's alignment. Like when my boyfriend broke up with me, he's like, I just don't feel like we're aligned. And I'm like, I was mad about that. I'm like we love each other. We get along. There's a lot of love. It just felt really off to me. I'm like, when there's a lot of love, I don't want to let that go. But he kept saying, like, I'm really social. I love to go out and be really social. That's my thing. And I'm not going to change
Right.
who I am. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want him to change, but like I had, I just he's like the alignment's not there. And he's like, I'm concerned about how anxious you get when we go out and you just dip out, I'm like, I lost my job and I'm struggling, I'm trying to rebuild myself here. So I was like, I keep hearing the word alignment and I get it, but like, oh, I need to align myself. And it was funny because one of the other ladies that had a near-death experience, I connected with her too. And then I found out she did energy healing. I'm like we're doing this. We're going to the counselor. We're working. We're not going to be sad. We're loved. We're going to do this. We're going to figure this out because this I can't do whatever's not working anymore. I've been trying so hard, like really, really, really hard. And then she talked, she's like looking at my energy. She's like, oh, this is like 40% childhood, 60% adult. I'm like, oh no, there's more childhood. I'm like, oh yeah, let's just question the spiritual person who can see your energy. So she did something for me. She's like, this is what I do. And she did her thing and she's like, I'm gonna do an energy healing with you at night. And I like, okay, and I didn't know what to expect. And I just let go and I trusted her. And she's like, man, it's like cobwebs in here. And she's like, you're at max capacity. I'm like, oh, girl, I am. And one morning I woke up and everything changed. And I'm like, God's real, spiritual stuff is real. I can't deny this anymore. This is very real. I laid in bed and this swirling and trying to figure everything out because like I just stay in my head. Like she told me something about the heart and the head. The head is more for linear. It's like making my grocery list, problem solving, stuff like that. The heart is very different. I'm confusing those. This is not the first time I've heard this message, but I didn't understand it. So she talked about that. She's like, we're going to go in and kind of like close some of those browsers and turn some of those programs off. So she did some work and I was laying in bed and that was starting again. And I'm just like laying there thinking and overthinking, like, what is going on? I'm so confused. And did I do something wrong? And, this. And then I heard beep and everything shut off. Silence. Like, I thought something right before that beep that must have changed something or went into alignment. I'm like, what is going on? Am I losing my mind? I'm like, I don't know who to talk to about this. This is weird. I told a couple of my girlfriends and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. And I'm like, and then it happened again when I started having those head heart miscommunications, like, because I'm not working with my heart enough, I heard boop, boop, and it shut off again. Like all the thoughts, boom, poof. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but something's going on here. So it made me open to like, all right, it's time to stop thinking traditionally. Your life is not traditional. It's not going that way. You are not going to fit in this mold. You got to let go and just start following those things. You can't keep forcing how you think business is going to work. You can't keep hiding who you are to everybody. You can't keep walling yourself off. So I just started reaching out to people who started making things spark in me. And then you invited me on your show, and I'm like, oh, she gets it. I'm like, wow, wow, like the little leaf blowing in the wind, the little messages. So I don't know. I hid who I was for a long time. I only shared with people who thought might be open. I mean, I wrote a book about manifesting and creating the life you desire. I had like so many protection voices in my head. Like there was one time, I think you talked about one story where you're like, "There's a kid in the pond. There's a kid. I hear
Yeah.
someone." Like I got this. Usually it's like that's not me. I have to go like, okay. It like screams at you, like it pushes. I was driving in my car and I heard, "Don't pay attention. Don't mess around with your phone." I'm like, I'm not messing around with my phone. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. And I kept hearing it, "Pay attention, pay attention." I'm like, I am. I'm like, okay, okay. And I was very conscious not to play with my phone. And I was on an interstate on 95. And moments later, a car comes perpendicular and cuts across, misses me by inches. I'm just getting chills. I watch them it tumbles over me behind. I'm like, oh, that's what it was. So something's like there, it's out there.
Did it tumble or you just saw it like happening?
No, it nearly missed me, and I watched the car flip behind me in a
Oh,
huge accident. Like it saved my life.
oh.
It saved my life. Like these feelings that we have, there's something to it. And I realize a lot of things about judgment too. I needed to really stop judging myself and people. It was really getting in the way of a lot of stuff, and that was walling me off too. Judgment walls you off from your connection and love. And gosh, I just thought it was everybody else being judged. It was never me. And I'm like,
Being a Catholic will do that, won't
oh, that
it?
Catholic guilt. Yeah. Yeah. And, the religious thing, and like, I think my mom always felt so disappointed. She's like, how can you believe all these other things? And I sent you to Catholic school, so you just believe that. And like, but they taught us about other things. Like, it's just not as simple as it seems sometimes. And my family would be hurt that I wouldn't go to like Christmas mass with them. And like, I'm like, my God wants me to stay here and drink White Claw and, sing karaoke right now. Like, I just, like I was being a little sarcastic, of course. I don't think, White Claw is really the answer to things, but I'm like, it just took a different form to connect. It wasn't going through this routine. I wanted to connect that way, but I'm like, I'm here and I do this, but I'm going through the motions, but I don't understand any of this. I don't understand the words. I don't understand the guilt. The guilt is really unnecessary. When I stepped away from that, I'm like, I don't need to feel bad anymore. I'm like, this feels so good not to feel guilty, and guilt's okay in the right space, but like so much has changed for me. But there was points where I realized, like, besides that, my thoughts and words were really powerful. I started understanding that when something is authentic and you mean it and you say it and you feel it, it happens. So, the one girl who I told you had the bladder infection, I was telling her about my dating life because, like, I kept having these recycled dating stories that, like, the same pattern. I'm like, you know, someone's guilty of doing the same stuff and expecting different results. So I told her, I'm like, hey, you know what? All I want is some guy to show up at my door with flowers and a toy for my dog. I just want to go on a nice date. Is that too much to ask? And I slammed my hand on the table. Like Amazon Prime, it comes to me maybe a hour later. I get this text from this guy I went out with that we had a really nice time. He's like, hey, you know, I know I haven't reached out. I know it was like 6 months we went out on a date. I really enjoyed you. And I know this is really last minute. Would you like to go out tonight? I'm like, well, okay. Shows up with flowers and a toy for my dog. So, Peggy, there's something to this.
Is that working out?
No, but I just wanted the flowers and toy for my dog. I guess I didn't want
Yeah.
him. I don't know. I just
You
wanted
didn't
to
ask for
date.
anything else, did you?
Yeah. So it's like when you feel it here and you know it's from your true self, that's where it comes from. Like, I know I'm meant to have a beautiful, fruitful life. I know that I'm going to do financially really well in my career because then I can give the generosity to people to help them like people have helped me. So it's like it's going to flow naturally. I just always walled myself off from that. And now I'm like, no, I can do really well. I can, give to others because I have so much to give. Because this last relationship, oh my gosh, was he so lovingly abundant to me? He gave just out of love and he gave to everyone. I was starting to be like critical. I'm like, why are you so generous? And I'm like, oh, because that's what real generosity and love is. You give out of love. I'm like, wow. And the way he gave so deeply and kindly to me, I'm like, I understand this now. I understand what love is. I know what generosity is. And whenever this like comes to fruition, I'm going to be able to do that. I'm going to be able to help women that really need some help. I have always saw myself doing a retreat in this beautiful home that I have like in the side of the mountains or something. I know I'm going to help people. I don't know how.
About doing foster care?
It's past my mind, but I wanted to do, if I ever did that, I wanted a partner to do it with me. Um, I wanted kids, and it's bizarre. That's been a block in my life too. I thought I wanted kids, and I thought I was supposed to do that, but I was terrified of it. Like, I black out if I give blood. I'm like, how am I going to pass a baby through me? And like, so I had my husband who I divorced really quickly. We were like together for 7 years and then 9 months. Something felt wrong. Something felt wrong. I knew, and we got divorced. And I remember him saying to me, "Someday I want to have kids, and I never want to have them with you." And he was,
Oh,
and I was like, oh, because he hated kids. He didn't want to have kids, and I kind of gave that up for him because I was scared to have kids, but he wasn't the right person. And I always just waited for the right person to be there to have kids. So I'm not sure, but I kept getting partners. Like one would say he want to have kids, and then he didn't act like he want to have kids. It was the frat boy thing again, and like I want a partner, I want to grow up, and I just kept having this repeating cycle. And then I had another guy that like started to be open to it, and like, nope. And then another partner, nope. So I'm like,
you're
all
the
right.
nope. You're the one's like, no.
Yeah, so I don't know. With me, like I just feel like I need to find a way to take care of myself and get my stuff in order before that. But I think I'm not sure about that. I just know I always felt like I was supposed to be helping women, but I don't know how. So I have something brewing that came to me. My one girlfriend, when I had this breakup, um, she treated me with such love. She made me my Polish pierogies from home. She gave me stuff for New Year's, like sparkling grape juice and the little Happy New Year and the party favor. And she wrote these dad jokes all over my tissues as I cried. I'm like, I felt so loved and seen. I'm like, I need to give this to women. I don't know how to give this to women, but there's so much hurt with a breakup and disconnection. So I'm working on some kind of project with that too. We need to keep connecting. It's about connection. It's about genuine connection. I don't know how it's all going to come into play, but like I have a lot of, things in the fire here that are figuring itself out. So
Okay. So you said earlier that you had a spiritual experience after learning about NDEs, or then you learned about NDEs, or was that these aha moments to what's going on, or
I think the NDEs, like I always knew there was something there. I was always intrigued, but I always knew. I always knew. And it just reconnected me. We had my past coworker had passed, and my friend came and told me, like someone who's like would be very guarded and not say these kind of stories, like, yeah, I saw him and he had this white light and I knew it was real and I knew he was okay and I knew he was healed and he looked 10 years younger. He looked like he was in his prime. So I knew this is real, but I think I needed these near-death experiences to keep me going. It was like fuel for me, allowing me to be myself. So you sharing your story and all the other people sharing their stories, like you're helping people. Even if you didn't have like a near-death experience, you guys are unlocking something. And it's so peaceful and loving. And like, I didn't want to turn anything else on the TV. I just had YouTube. Like, okay, before bed, I need to listen to this. I need to hear people's stories. I need to keep connecting with this. There is something really, really, really important about who we are here. Because I always had these spiritual experiences and these feelings and thoughts and stuff I could not understand, but people sharing their story is the connection point. That's kind of what I figured. I don't have the whole game plan, but I know I'm supposed to be out there connecting with people, sharing my story, listening to theirs, putting another book out. I don't know, but it's once again that little leaf in the wind and it'll figure it out. So much fear has been taken away by your story and other stories, and it feels like it's been wiped for me. That and I've had a lot of fear. I've had a lot of doubts and like and approaching things with love has and removing that fear has changed everything. Everything feels different. I don't feel the depression. I don't feel the anxiety. I don't feel the sadness. It's like I wish everybody could feel this way because it's refreshing.
You know, a lot of NDEers get divorced because they're a different person after
Yeah.
their NDE. And I think about you and your boyfriend, and you just, it's like you weren't who you were. And this isn't the person that he wanted to be with anymore, even though he loved you. And it gets like that, like after my second NDE with a two pregnancy, I just was different, and I wasn't as accommodating to my husband at that time. And I didn't want that party life. I seen my boys getting older, and I didn't want that to be their role models for men. Like my husband, ex-husband, had come from a big Catholic family. There's eight boys, and then they have these uncles and their dad all drinking, and that's the only men that they were had to look up to is this constant drinking. And I took
Yeah.
life more seriously. We just changed. And as you're talking, it's just like as if you had an NDE. You hear about NDEs, and it affected you as if you've had them because it's bringing out your spiritual self that was always there. You were just disconnected from until you had this like identity crisis, like you
Yeah.
were breaking out of your shell and opening up into this beautiful flower, just like can sense the world, and no longer that tight egg, afraid and holding tight inside. And I know what that's like. And to become, I just now feel like, because I hear all this stuff about science. Like last night, I heard this thing about AI has tapped into flowers and can
Huh.
hear this language, that they have screams when they're not being watered. And I ran out in the hallway and got these two plants I had that I had, and I watered them. Like, oh no, and then the communication with trees and how they can signal when this disease is happening to help, to signal the others. And so they put out all this stuff and all this network all around us. And it's
Yes.
like, and they're finding out. And then the other part of neuroscience is finding out that our brain is just cells. It's not controlling anything of our consciousness. And it seems like there's this field of consciousness out here floating. And then once we tap into it, and like as children we do, but then everybody says you're crazy or you're weird or you need to
Yeah.
stop or you need to, it doesn't fit in any Catholic box or any a lot of church box, or it doesn't fit anywhere. So you're just this weirdo out here trying to suppress your true consciousness that you're picking up on. And
Yeah.
then we get older and we realize, heck with all those people. I gotta be me and I gotta
Yeah.
tap into this because it's useful.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of what happened. I think I was concerned about the drinking and I'm like, something doesn't feel right, something doesn't I'm like it's like why does it have to go here? Like I'm like, okay, this isn't for me to figure out. And I remember laying on the couch the day before he broke up with me and he went out and I didn't feel well. My throat hurt really bad and I was sick and he went out to see his friends, our friends anyways, and I just remember like stop feeling this icky feeling like this disconnect. And I just let go. I'm like, I let go of this. I just let go. I can't. I can't fix this. I don't understand it. I want to be connected. I'm out of control here. This isn't in my control. And I let go, and next day he breaks up with me. So I think it was just letting go, because like I was just trying to control everything. And yeah, it's good to have your life in order, but I think he disconnected with me because I lost my sparkle too. I didn't know who I was, and when he met me, I was shining. Like I loved what I was doing and I was in my role, and I think he didn't know how to fix it, and it hurt him so badly. And uh, you know, I thought about when it came to plants, like I was so worried about my plants, like coming home from after we had visited his family, and I'm like, oh, I hope they're okay. And they were like beautifully green, and I was shocked how beautiful they did because like I care about them. But there's this one plant, there's this orchid, and I'm like, I really just can't wait to put this outside. I just want people to see it, and I want it to grow in the trees like my neighbors and stuff, and it just really beautiful. And there was a string between it that was dead. There was one growing up here and one growing down here. And I said to the plant, I'm like, all right, I'm going to cut this cord. I am going to separate you two. I'm going to put this other one out here. And I know I did it right and it's safe and it's on the tree, you'll come back out here. And I looked at that like, if my person who was my partner is meant to be and it's supposed to happen and that comes back around, it's okay. But if it's not, I'm going to go put myself on that tree and I'm going to grow. And I can't worry about everything else and everybody. I just need to get all this out. I need to be myself. It has been really, really challenging. And I realized I was doing it to myself. And I surrounded myself with, it was hard. Like when you're in the corporate world with like finance and insurance, you have these big personalities, big salespeople, and then you're like, how do I navigate this as an introverted, empathetic person who gets signals like, oh yeah, that's gonna go really well, you know? Um, it's hard. You got to like push yourself into these situations. So it's like after all that noise got removed, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can be myself. I don't need to be in that environment. I can just go out and be myself and I can have these boundaries. I think it was just where I live, it's a challenging place sometimes. There's a lot of personalities, there's a lot of wealth, there's a lot of pomp, and just like it's nice to have nice things and it's nice to be taken care of and have a beautiful, safe home. But then there's a point where it's like kind of a facade sometimes. So it's like I can
Have
just
you
be.
heard of Anthony Sheen? Anthony
Oh, is
Shen?
that the producer that, yeah,
Yeah.
I watched tons of his videos. They were awesome.
Okay, but he was a banker.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. And he was in that world and he just didn't fit. And he just was driven. He wanted to know more about these near-death experiences. So he left that and
Wow.
started making these videos.
Yeah, they are
Doing it
very well
really-
viewed too.
Yeah. It's
That's
just he
interesting.
followed where his heart was taking him. And it was not in, and it was like world banking. It wasn't just like at a
Wow.
bank, you know.
Yeah.
And his family was like, what is happening here? But yeah, that's just what he wanted to do.
Yeah, it's just like I feel like I've been called to do other things, to share things. I know I'm supposed to write, I know I'm supposed to put books out, and it was just so hard for me to be myself and show myself for some reason. Um, I don't know, because people don't always
Well,
understand.
your dad kept shoving out and didn't like you for who you were. And
Yeah,
when people
he
don't
didn't.
like us for who we are, we just keep trying to be what they want us to be. And then
I,
one day, like you say, you just wake up and you realize you just let go,
yeah,
let yourself grow.
yeah, I don't think until just recently, I realized how much that not being liked by my father impacted everything in my life. I silenced myself, and there's so many times, and people in general have told me, like, stop telling the truth so much, and like, don't be yourself. And like, I remember even in school, I was so terrified to raise my hand to even go to the restroom. I remember in kindergarten, I peed my pants because I was afraid. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I'm just gonna put my jacket on and go to the bus. Like, I had all these signs and I didn't even know till later in my life. I remember in like third or fifth grade, I had the flu so bad and I was afraid to be recognized, to like be seen, to go to the restroom. I just didn't I just wanted to be invisible, that I threw up and I swallowed it. I'm like, that's there's something going on here. Like I was so afraid to have a voice, even in my 40s. Like I don't want to be weird. Like, it's just it's hard to put yourself out there. So this is like the start of like it's okay to put yourself out there. If people don't like you, it's whatever, whatever. You can't change it, but you
You'll
stuff
never,
yourself down
yeah,
if you
you
want.
never find your own tribe if you
Yeah,
keep following all the other ones that are not meant for you
yeah, yeah.
or
So
your
like
soulmate.
yeah, I have wanted that person in my life, and I really thought that this last relationship, like, wow, but I'm like, if there's a disconnect, I just need to trust that whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. Like, if someone breaks up with you, they break up with you. It's not like, you can't do anything about that. You shouldn't. If they break up with you, there's usually a reason. So I just trust and I just be loving about it, and there is nothing else I can do. If that's the person for me and it comes back around, great. If it's not, then I'm actually being able to be myself, figure it out, be able to just do what I'm supposed to do, even though it's not all clear right now. I'm not sure, but I think the more we are open, just like my garage door I left open and nothing bad happened, it's better. Because like even my one leader, she was awesome. She's like, you could benefit from being a little more vulnerable. I'm thinking, oh hell no. Like, do you realize the Shark Tank I swim in every day? Like, you got to put that armor on. It is tough. Like,
What's that speaker, Renee Brown or
oh yeah.
something? Yeah, talks about vulnerability and
Yeah, yeah. I just remember sharing like before this breakup, I'm like, I felt so vulnerable. I'm like, I feel insecure. And like he looked at me and I'm like, I should be able to share that with people. I'm like, I don't care. I'm just gonna say I feel insecure and it's okay. Like when I go to my girlfriends, I tell them, they're like, it's okay. We feel those things too. And it's just like women are so lucky. Women are so lucky that they can be vulnerable more than men. I feel my heart aches for men. They, I know they deal with things differently, but gosh, society does not let them connect with themselves or others. I hate that. I wish that would change. They have to be so strong and take care of such hard things and play so tough sometimes that I don't know how they do it.
what's your relationship now with your parents?
They both passed.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw my mom suffer from cancer 3 times. It was hard. And I always thought my dad would pass first because he was just so angry he'd have a heart attack or something, like, and my mom just kept getting hit by it, hit by it, hit by it. And she was very loving, but man, she was just through so much. I always wished, I'm like, why? Oh, mom is so good and cool. I wish she was with someone who was so loving to her and kind, and it just didn't happen. But I remember her and my dad separated for like 6 months, and this guy from like high school that she liked, he was kind of like nerdy. And she said, "Oh, I liked him so much. He was so dorky. He had this big nose, but he was so nice." And he just got divorced. I'm thinking, Mom, go out with him. Go out with Sherman. Sherman likes you. She sounds like a good man. And then my dad got sick and she took care of him. And like, shoot, like I just wanted to see my mom have that. And like, I know at some point, like I need to honor that for myself. My mom never got that. She had the responsibility of 6 children, running a business, and a really angry husband. Like my mom would want for me to flourish. And I know it crushed her that I couldn't when she was still alive because there was just still so much toughness. I don't know. I just did not come into my own yet.
how was your dad after she passed? Did he change any?
Yeah, and it was really confusing. He ended up pretty much drinking himself to death. He would sob about her at Christmas and get really drunk and just, oh, your mom. I'm like, you treated mom so bad. And now you're sad about it? Like, this is unfair. Like, I was almost like, you don't get to deserve to feel sad about mom. Like, we had to feel sad for her our whole lives, how you treated her. And
And you
I
didn't get to
skipped.
say any of that, did you?
It didn't matter. Even if
It
I said
didn't.
it,
It
I
wouldn't
told my
care. He,
siblings. I skipped Christmas one year because I just couldn't be around him. And I love my family, but I just didn't want to see the show of his pity and oh, I miss her. And I'm like, because I'm like, here's what's going to happen. He's going to get drunk. This is going to happen. He's going to whine about this. And she's like, oh, wow, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. I'm like, yeah, I just went to eat at Texas Roadhouse and saw Star Wars. I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's all cool. It's nothing about you. But he drank himself to death after that. I think he didn't last but 5 years. I don't know if it's, I don't know his journey. I don't know his story, but maybe he felt really bad about how everything went down. But
Did the
my
other
mom,
kids feel like he hated them too? Was it just you? Was you
it was
singled
just
out?
me, I think. I think he was rough on my other brother a bit because he was just a little shy and different too, and kind of just not the typical beaten path. But oh no, I was the brunt of it. And then later in life, my brothers saw it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm so sorry for what he said." I'm like, "This has been going on forever." I'm so sorry. I'm like, "It's not your fault." Like I don't think he recognized. They were just living their own lives. They couldn't see it. They were somewhere else. So, yeah, it feels like after watching some of these NDEs, like a lot has just been it's been a relief. It's been comforting. There's so much comfort in just like connecting with yourself and not walling yourself up because of so much hate around you. Like hate does not get solved by walling yourself up. Anxiety doesn't get solved by walling yourself up. I finally figured out because like I struggled like severe anxiety. Just I didn't want to talk to anyone. Like when I was little, I'm like, please don't make me order my food at the counter. I can't handle it. Please don't make me call for a pizza. I just couldn't. It was so severe. And somehow I've, spoken publicly. I've taught classes, full of people. Like I fought so hard to just get past that. And just this week, I finally realized connection's the answer. Connection really helps anxiety. I don't know why that came to me, but it did.
Connection to,
Just people to others, stop judging them, just be connected. It's not about the outcome, it's about just being vulnerable and being real with people and just caring about each other, just empathy and just connecting with others. There was this one friend that I had worked with, and she is such a loving, kind person. And she has just been dealt cards after one after another. She's a single mom, struggling, wakes up at 5, ends up, being done from work at 9:30. And she's just put it out on Facebook. She's like, how do I feel better? How do I get through this? And like some other moms were writing things. I'm like, gosh, I wish I could give her something. Like, I'm not a mom. I don't understand. I know how hard it is. And I thought about it for a long time. I'm like, connection to other people. It's not going to solve everything, but man, it's going to lighten the load and it's going to help this. So,
that connection right now is such an important thing because I think so many people are so disconnected from each other, like even
yeah.
going in public or even going in a family gathering.
Yes.
I feel like sometimes, what's everybody so afraid of?
Well, I'm very guilty of that. I can tell you like I'm like this, and I'm like I don't want to feel like that, but I feel like that. And after everything happened and I started just connecting again with myself and all the information that you guys have shared through your channels and stuff, I'm like I need to talk to my neighbors. I actually need to say hi. I'm such an introvert that sometimes I can't say hi to someone. And I started just looking at them and seeing them and saying hi. I'm like, this feels a lot better. Like going out with people, I've forced myself many times to do that, but like lately, I know that I was just walling off and it just felt so bad. It was me making myself bad and walling myself off from others, even my family. I didn't tell my family my boyfriend broke up with me for a week because I just didn't want to hear the criticism. I just didn't want to be I just couldn't take the hurt. I think we're all hurting sometimes and it's hard to connect and it's easy just to just go on your phone and go like that. Even at the dog park, I just like I'm going to say hi to people. I'm going to connect with people and it's going to be okay. And it's been scary at times. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing but it's helping. I think just talking to people and just letting go of what you think it's supposed to be like or expectations. But yeah, everyone's really disconnected. I don't know if you feel that in your life too, but it's pretty rough.
Yeah, I just feel like what's wrong with looking someone in the eye and how you doing? Not just how are you? You know, the normal like cashier, how are you? You know, it's just like what's going on with you and your life? And there's so many women
Yeah.
my age that, like I've said before, all they want to talk about is their diet, what they ate, or exercise, or aging. It's like, I don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
I want to
I
know about
feel
you.
that, yes. I feel like sometimes I wouldn't look people in the eye because like I felt like I didn't want to be seen because I felt like they weren't going to connect with me for some reason. Like I remember just like avoiding eyes, like I like severe anxiety, you know. That's the other reason why I think I was having trouble like with going out so much. Like my boyfriend was really social, very social, gregarious guy, and I like going out too. But I found out like at the bars, I, I can't connect with people deeply.
No
They don't
way.
want to connect. They don't want to connect the way that I know how to connect. And I would sit there and I'm like, I don't know what to talk to anybody about. Like, I don't know what I'm doing in my career. I don't know what I'm bringing into the table. I don't know who I am. And I would dip out because I'm like, I'm not bringing this to the table. You know what? I'm not bringing my anxiety and fear. I'm like, okay, I had enough. I said hi. I enjoy these people and I got to dip. But I realized, I think it was the environment for me. Like, people go to bars to escape, to, there's celebrations there too. But like, I wanted to connect with people. I couldn't find connection. And connection is, it's personal. And it's hard sometimes for me even to look someone in the eye and like do it. But like I'm doing it now and like, and it's changing things. I think it's fear. I think fear is a huge thing. Fear blocks a lot of connection in every way, in every way.
And I think lack of compassion too. Like people just don't care how you are. They
No,
don't
they don't.
care what's going on with you. They don't care. They want to be all about me and look at me and listen to me and like the bar scene. And how boring, how empty and lame. And my ex, he wanted me to go to do all the, and I was like, you know, I wasn't a social person.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I was younger, we could go and dance all night and that was fun.
Yeah.
But to sit around and listen to those conversations, there's no depth.
Yeah, I think that's what I was struggling with. I didn't dislike the people. I didn't dislike going out. I don't mind a cocktail here and there. I didn't have any problem with that. I think I was just really struggling with like connecting because that just isn't, nobody wants to really get to know me there. I want to get to know them, but like people don't want to have that. They want to have surface level conversations there usually. It's not about like, how are you? You know, like my girlfriends and I will do that, but this going out didn't feel like that. And I'm like, this isn't going to be fun for me. Like, it's just going to be blah, blah, blah. It just was, it felt a little empty. And it had nothing to do with the people. It was just like the type of connection.
When I was younger, and you know, I live in the country, the thing was sit around a campfire
Hmm.
and talk.
Yeah.
You know, or some people would get their guitar and play a song and it was nice, but then it just went to, you know, this bar scene, you know, through my ex and it's just that's what he wanted. He wanted
Yeah.
me to keep my mouth shut and go and enjoy that
Yeah.
and just be skinny and pretty and he wanted to get a motorcycle and me ride on back a motorcycle, a Harley Davidson, you know, like he's having this midlife crisis, and that's what he wants to for his youth. That's not what I want. I don't want any part of a motorcycle and drinking or in a
Yeah.
bar with people that I don't think are very intelligent. You know,
I
because
hear
I
you.
don't think they grow. People that drink a lot, I've heard before that they just kind of stay the age they were when they started drinking. They
Interesting.
just don't mature and develop. And
Yeah.
so you're around all these people that should have matured and developed 40 years ago. And
Yeah.
you've matured and developed because your life wasn't wrapped around sitting on a bar stool
Yeah.
drinking. And you're just this isn't my scene, this isn't my tribe, it's not my people. It's not where I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be.
I get it. I felt like that too. I'm like, okay, get dressed up, be pretty. Kind of, I felt like at some point I'm like, all right, just go along with it. And then I'm like, then I just, after I lost my job, like, who am I? Like, what am I doing? What about who I really am. Like I was just so lost. But yeah, doing that almost like going out and doing that almost put more pressure on me to like, oh, you better figure this out fast because like you don't know what the hell you're doing. And it just put me in a situation where I'm like, I didn't feel like I'd shine. So I just shied away. And like that song, Don't Shy Away, that one, don't shy away, you're manifesting your ceiling, cut the cycle in half. This whole song that came to me was like, yeah, you're shying away from people. You're shying away from things you're great at. You're just going along with things. And when I would start saying like this doesn't feel good, I don't think anybody knew what to do. You just don't know how to fix those things sometimes until you have that whatever it is. So like getting back in touch and it was funny because like I thought I was going to be in a really really dark place after this breakup and I'm like I was worried I was going to be depressed and cry and not be able to pull myself out of it, but it was done with such love on both ends and everything just kind of clicked and my days have been so full. I wrote for like 6 days straight. I'm like, oh my gosh, the day's almost over. It's different when you're inspired and connected. When you're on that path and you have that flow, vroom, it flies by. And when you're not in that flow, it's harder. So I'm trying to learn now, like, how do I keep myself in that flow and being very conscious about all my interactions, the things I'm saying, the way I'm treating people, my words. Like, I consider myself a rather sarcastic person and some humor in that, but I'm like, I really need to watch those words because those words can really hurt. I just really want to start leading with more kindness.
I'm learning that when I start cussing, I'm not in my flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I need to turn channels here.
Yeah, it's like, all right, switch. And it's
Mhm.
just, yeah, and you get back on it quicker. And I think that's like when you find the swirling and the anxiety, it's like, hey, that's not working. Switch. And you got to get to that point where you can switch it because we really are in control. We are in control of our thoughts. We can't control everything. We can't control all the outcomes, and that's okay because things usually turn better out much better when I don't control things. Oh my gosh, my life is so much better because I do not control things. I would be, ugh, my life would be not nearly as beautiful as has been. Every time I just let go of control, beautiful. And each relationship I had got better and better and better and more love and more abundance and just genuine care. It's just like there's something to this, but the thoughts, the thoughts
Yeah.
and the words that come out. Like when you start talking about yourself and you think those things, people are going to believe them because they're coming from you. Like if you say, I'm always going to be poor and this isn't going to, I'm going to settle for this. Well, okay, you just said you are, so that's what's going to happen. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
oh,
People talk so much about being in
oh.
control. But like you say, when you let go and you get in that flow, that's not in control is there's this creative space, this knowing, intuition, this energy, this effortless, it's just like the spot, you know?
Yeah,
And the more you're in it, the more you can recognize when you're not and
yeah,
shift back in it
yeah,
and be able to handle situations like that, a breakup, a death, or whatever
yeah,
comes along. When you're able, I call it harnessing the light. Like the first time I shared my near-death experience with a group, afterwards, I started feeling this glow around me as I told it, and then I kept that for hours. And then I started noticing every time I would like get up on a stage or something and share my story, I started calling it, I feels like I'm harnessing the light because I don't know
yeah,
other words to describe it. And so if I start getting that dark place again, I'm like, okay, harness the light. You know?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I think it's like the more you get into the flow, the more you don't want to not be in it. I don't know how I'm going to stay in it, but I'm like, okay, well, whatever I'm doing right now is working. So pay attention to what's working and just keep doing that. Keep connecting with people that make you feel good. Keep connecting with people you love. Stop walling yourself off. Just be honest in a loving way,
And that anxiety, finally, after all these years, I learned has a purpose because that anxiety tells me I'm in the wrong place.
yeah,
I'm in the wrong situation. I need to stop and realize that anxiety is trying to tell me something.
Yeah.
And often I'll have to go be by myself for a moment and collect
Yep.
to, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So I can, and I don't need anxiety medication. I don't need
Hmm.
anything to numb me,
Yeah.
and we learn, it's just, a self-help, really.
Yeah. And it's like paying attention to the body. I just don't think I realize how much my mind and body, they always say mind body connection, but I'm like, wow, the states we keep ourselves in despite all that. Like, people stay in jobs for years that they hate. I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I've done it before too, because I'm like, well, I got to make money, and I just would had my mindset that, well, that and that won't work. Like people block off their opportunities a lot too. Um, it, but the words and the thoughts and the feelings matter so much. So it's like I want to surround myself with people that I feel good with. They like me, I like them, that it feels genuine. Like I need like genuine connection. Genuine. That's when
Hmm.
things flow too, when it's
Yeah.
genuine. Even if it doesn't make sense or if it's weird, like it is what it is. Somebody out there needs to hear our stories. And that's what some girl said that to me. She's like, you need to be doing this. Why are you depriving someone of your story? And I'm like, huh, I don't know. I never looked at it like that. It was just like afraid of what's coming this way, not about sharing. So if you can make it more about sharing and helping someone else, it helps more.
The day I decided I was going to write my book, it was about, for some reason, I needed I was going to first leave this just for my grandchildren someday after I'm gone. But then I got thinking, I wish that how that would happen at that moment, that I could like put it out in the world, which would be publishing and all that, which it later did. But I needed one person somewhere on the face of this earth, I don't care what country, one person to shed a tear for me,
Ah,
just one tear. And I didn't, why is that important? And I thought, well,
yeah,
growing up, nobody cared. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. And I knew that I needed one person on this earth that cared
yeah,
about this little girl that this
yeah,
stuff happened to.
yeah.
And it was just important. And then when it come out, I was shocked that it was middle-aged men that was
Huh,
writing to me. Who would have thought, right?
really?
Middle-aged men that was saying, I couldn't stop crying. And my
Wow.
husband's business manager, he's in a union for pipe fitters, right? Plumbers, pipe fitters,
Yeah,
welders, these burly men.
yeah.
Um, the business manager got a copy and he grabbed me by the arm and he says, Peggy, there was enough tissues in the box.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, this
Wow.
middle-aged man, I couldn't stop crying.
You're gonna make me cry because it's so beautiful. Because I was just talking about like how men are not allowed to feel sometimes, and I hate that because they're going through the same stuff as us. Why are they any different? Why should they not be able to feel? So, oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Girl. It was for this teenage girl. It was for this
Uh-huh.
16-year-old was kidnapped and raped. It was for this young girl in her early 20s, young mother, and this domestic violence, still not loved, in
Yeah.
her primary and then in the husband family, his big Catholic family,
Yeah.
that, it's like, and I'm like, that just healed me that there are human beings on this earth. What do you know?
Yeah, that's funny you say that because I think my healing is going to come with this too, but like withholding yourself doesn't help others, and there's other people that need to heal. Like you've helped me heal. I'm like, oh my gosh, she gets it. She gets it. She's almost drowned. She felt unloved. She went through this. She had these experiences. I'm like, somebody understands, and it felt so good. I'm like, I need to write to her. I need to write to her. And I'm like, oh, it gives me goosebumps. And like, and then you let me connect with more people. Like, thank you. Thank you. This is how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to be, I'm a huge believer in like collaboration, not competition. Like we are all connected. We should be working together. I don't know why we're all like this.
I know.
This does not
I know.
work. It does not work. It's not good for people. It's it's just depleting. And
And you know, those appreciations I have found open up a lot of doors because, like with my husband's cancer, and this dandelion root, and I thought, well, I want to tell this guy thank you that's done the research on that since 2009. And Dr. Pandy in Canada, I sent him an email and did not know that that email would open up so many doors
Wow.
that they're now his research team is now testing the tincture that my husband used and the tincture where we get it locally. They've allowed him to get it from their factory straight, not go through stores, right? And then this other foundation is using it as a cancer preventative, and it's like just no, just because I wrote to him and said thank you for
Wow.
your research because that's how I found out. And
Yeah, it's that gratitude and that authenticity. Like this is meaningful. Thank you, and just connect that connection there. But yeah, yeah. I think it's funny how things unfold about that. I think so many beautiful things can happen with being genuine and just collaborating and just connecting. Yeah, I think that's wonderful. Like in things that you don't expect to be created and just start forming. And I kind of love that because I used to like to, oh, this is how it's going to turn out and this is how it's going to be. And when I let go of that, it turns out so much better because other people need to be involved. It is not all about us. We're all connected. There's this more power in doing something together for some reason.
was there any lasting thoughts you want to leave us with, or?
I'm really grateful. I'm so happy you shared your story because it made me feel really good and heard and seen and understood. And thank you for keep putting it out there because people need to hear it. I really needed to hear your story. And it kept me,
What one did you listen to?
the one on Anthony
Oh, on
Ch,
Anthony's. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, I need to write to this lady. I need to write to her. This is very
And you just wrote
meaningful.
to me late last night
Yeah.
just
And
to say
boom.
thank you and that
Yeah.
you'd like to share your story. I was like, do you want to share it on my channel?
Yeah. And I'm like, well, wow. Well, yeah. Because I didn't realize you had your own channel after that. I'm like, oh, she's got all this stuff. Wow. So it was genuine. And there was that genuine connection and things just follow from there. Because like, I just can't explain it, but I'm just really, really grateful we connected. I'm really grateful that you shared your story. It was really brave and it makes me feel stronger too. So thank you.
And I think when you watch this, when I send it back to you, I get it published tonight and late, even, a year from now, 10 years from now, when you watch it, I think because I do when I watch myself
Yeah.
talking, it's like I learn from myself.
Yeah.
Like we say things and we don't fully grasp them yet.
Yeah.
We don't process them yet. We just like putting out these thoughts. And then later I watch it, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm picking up on stuff I didn't connect before, like these little pieces of puzzle, and it
Yeah.
just helps growth.
Yes. 100%. Yeah. Cause like it's there and it's just, okay, I was there. Now I give you a little more tidbit and you move forward again. It's just, there's always so much there for us.
Like when you watch a movie and then 10 years later you watch it again and see it through whole new eyes, like we were talking about
Yes.
Groundhog Day, seeing it through new
Yes.
eyes and the situation you're in. But then when you're on TV now
Yeah.
and you hear yourself talking and it's just the same thing. It's like
Yeah.
we're educational.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's great. So, okay, well, I'll get this sent out to you as soon as I get it done later today. And I hope people get something out of our ramblings.
I appreciate you so much, Peggy. It was so beautiful to meet you and get to know you even more.
Thank you.
Thank
Best of
you.
luck to you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.